come a day.
So, everyone knows who you are?
Yep.
Anything happened this week?
And I thought about this because you ask every time, and I'm like, what am I going to say this time? And again, got nothing. I'm officially 4 weeks out for the next comp. That's about all I got for this one here.
Cool.
What about you?
Not much.
All right. Yeah. That's the life we lead, everybody.
Yep. Welcome to the regular middle class in Midwest Indiana. That's how it goes. So we can pop on 3.
No, I don't like this.
You don't like it?
I don't like when you say that because then it's like you try to pop first every time. I don't like it. I'm not even counting. I'm just going. No count.
So I have a story to tell that I don't know why I haven't told it on the podcast yet because it is insane. So I traumatized a child. I had a friend.
Are you sure you want to put this out there? That's not a good start.
So the only reason that I've thought about probably not telling this, because I think I've thought of it before, is having that person tell it from their side. But I just don't think it's going to happen. I'm just going to tell it. So, had a friend, came over, wanted to stay the night. So, their parents let them stay the night. They're like 11 at this point, I think. I'm like 13. They're a little younger than me. And as you know, we have a farm and all this stuff. So, he apparently didn't have a very good night. He was like, he was like sleeping on the couch, and like dad came in to get a glass of water or something, and it freaked him out, and he was just like like laying there petrified, didn't know why.
That's crazy.
You know how kids' minds are when you wake up in the dark and you're in someone else's house. And,
I completely understand, yeah.
Yeah. So, not a great start. We get up in the morning. It's time to go take care of the animals. We got sheep, pigs, chickens, quail, a lot of stuff at this time. This is when we had like 60-something animals. It's middle of winter. We go out. We're kind of being stupid, but not like irresponsibly stupid, but pretty stupid. We'll walk across the pond to go to the barn because it's ice. It was about a foot thick or more, which is way more than enough.
So when you say you walked across, you actually walked across, but not the bridge?
Right, we just walked across the water. It was ice, but it was water. And, it was fine. So, we get to the barn. The sheep, one of the sheep had a baby. We weren't really expecting it to have a baby at this time. Baby was either stillborn or it got trampled or something. It was dead, right? So, dead lamb. One way that you can try to revive newborn, if it's stillborn, maybe it was stuck in the birth canal too long, so it just had blood cut off from its head for too long. You don't really know exactly what happened. You can hang them upside down, and it can get their blood flowing back to their head and stuff. They can come back to life. It can happen, right? So we hang this lamb up by its back feet.
Just you and him?
Yep.
Oh,
yep.
No. Okay.
Okay, so not a great start.
No.
Don't worry, it doesn't get any better. We go to feed the quail.
There's a dead quail.
Okay, this is literally one of the most insane things that's ever happened in my life. We open this quail cage. The quail never do anything. Quail flies out like we open the cage, it flies, hits the barn wall, falls behind some pallets that were like, and we run over there to try to catch the quail. Instantly, like it went, fell behind the pallets. There was a skunk under the pallets, and it just and it was just, so the skunk is eating the quail right in front of us. So quail's dead.
Wow.
So, little more trauma.
0 for 2 morning.
Yeah. Also, I know that this has happened to him. This has happened before, like the time before that he had come over to our house. The pigs had babies, and that's just not a great experience ever because they lay on some of them, kill some of them. The other ones eat some of them, like every time.
So he's seen dead animals the first time as well, then.
Right? Yeah, just traumatizing experiences every time he comes to our house. So
maybe he's bad luck.
Dead quail. So quail's dead, lamb's still hanging there. Whatever, we go throw the lamb in the creek or whatever we had to do because it didn't come back to life.
Right.
We go back to the house, walking across the pond again. He slips and falls and hits his forehead directly on the ice. Oh, He's got this big bump on his forehead now. More trauma. So after all this, very lovely morning, we, and also it's freezing cold because, ice. The pond is ice. We go to Hedges just to his parents were going to pick him up there and we're just playing basketball there and stuff. His parents finally come to pick him up. He's heading out the door and somebody shot like a 3/4 quart shot and of course completely missed. Hit him right in the head before he's trying to get out. So it's just like every moment of time that he was with us was just trauma and he couldn't get away from it. He finally escaped out the door.
Wow. It's awful.
Yeah.
Do you still know this person?
Mm-hmm.
Do they listen to these?
I don't know.
Well, if you do,
probably
whoever
not.
You are, you may want to start getting a lucky rabbit's foot or a special horseshoe or because that is an awful lot of bad luck in 24 hours or whatever.
Yeah.
Now, being terrified at night at a new house at that age, that's not on you. But I think everything else might be.
Yeah. I feel like something else may have happened, but I just don't remember it because so much was going on. I mean, that was a lot for us, especially at that age.
So I will say that it sounds, granted it's a mistake, you slip and fall. Sounds like a little clumsiness follows him because I have the same thing. I have I'm a little clumsy, but also a little bit of bad luck. And I just when I have a bad deal, it's just bad all the way around. So we went, me and my wife. Our child was only our first one. She might have been 2, something like that. She's pretty little still. And we went with a good friend of mine and his wife to her family in Oklahoma. So we're all riding together in the same car. We get up there pretty, she, having a little kid that long in a car. So she starts crying because she's done with the being in the car. And it's pouring down rain. I had to stop and get windshield wipers because they were not good for that heavy of a rain. We finally get there, and the next day they invite us out to go look at this lake where they actually have a natural spring and it's clear water all the way down. So you've heard this, haven't you? Yeah. Yep. So me and my buddy, we're gonna go in this canoe with her cousin, and then my wife and little girl go with her other cousin who has a flat bottom like John, so it's not going to tip over or nothing because we got a little kid anyway. So they're actually the first ones to take off. Then his wife is in a kayak, so she leaves. So it's just us 3 in this long canoe. I have never been in a canoe before. I also think something was a little wrong with this canoe, but I could be wrong. I've never been in one since, so I still haven't had anything to compare it to. But it's awful. So her cousin gets in the front. My buddy gets in the middle. I'm last to get in, which is probably not the best. He goes, all right, man, get in. All right. So I grab on the side. I put one foot in, pick my other foot up, and we immediately flip. Now so the water's high. So we're kind of back in the woods area. So it's already in the water. We're getting it in the water, So there's not a push off from the bank, which I'm also used to in a flat bottom John. As soon as I pick my foot up, we flip. Everything dumps out of the boat. We got a cooler full of beer. It spills everywhere. We got to pick everything up, put everything back in this cooler. Ice is gone at this point. So now I'm told to go in it first. So I get in first. They put me in the middle this time. She gets in, he gets in. We're all in it now. So she's paddling up front. Now remember, we're in high water, kind of like in a wooded area. We're going right for a bush. She goes, I need paddle on my left, paddle on my left. I hear my buddy trying to get the paddle up from the seat and it's stuck. And I hear him struggling with it. And I just start laughing because I know we're hitting this bush now. He starts laughing. And then we just hit this bush and flip again. She comes up spitting mud and grass. Like, she didn't put her hand out to stop or nothing. She just went like head first, I guess, like right into it and just comes up spitting mud and grass. And it was awful. And then everything spills out again. We got to get everything back together. Now we're in like knee deep water trying to get in this canoe again. And I told my buddy, I go, where are we going? He's like, it's all right on the side of this place. So I'll just walk. Like, I'm done. He goes, no, come on, quit, get in the boat. So we all finally get back in it again. We're paddling. We get to this clear water area. We can see all the way down. My buddy's like, hey, man, look at all the fish. And every time I go to look, the boat feels like it wants to flip. So I'm holding on to the sides. He's like, look. I'm like, no, I'm not looking. Because I tried like a little bit. I could feel the boat really wanting to go every time. That's why I also think something may be wrong with it. But like I said, I've never been in a canoe before, so who knows? We finally get to the area that we're going to. We get to the bank. We get out. We both get a drink. We're standing there in this fresh water, cooling off. And I step one step forward, and I hit this slick, because it's like gravel where we're at on the bottom, just like rocks and stuff. And I hit this part was kind of downhill, and I slip, fall, spill my drink all over my face. My buddy's just rolling, and he's like, I'm going to take you everywhere. But to finish it up here, when it was time to leave, I talked his wife into trading me. Talked her into going in the canoe, and I got the kayak. So I'm paddling the kayak around. I get to actually look and see all the fish. And they are arguing on the canoe because it's wanting to tip. And she's like, quit, you're going to flip us over. Like, she's freaking out. Now I'm like, told you, I'm like, later.
Yeah, I think canoes are just stupid, dude. Like, you can even get a 2-person kayak now. Like, there's no reason for a canoe. They're just dumb. I don't get it. We've gone on a million canoe and kayak trips, and canoes just suck.
So have you ever flipped one over?
So I've gotten really close. I think I have. I flipped my kayak a couple times, but it was more extreme conditions. It wasn't just like,
right. Like, this is still water. Like, nothing's happening.
Yeah. But we had like 7 people in a canoe, and I was last to get in, like you said, and we still had the end on shore, which that makes it way more unstable if just some of it's on shore.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
So we're all in it, and there was like a rope to grab or something. I don't totally remember. So we like all looked over that direction to look at it, and I was still standing up. I had like just gotten in. So I was just like going head first. So I just like jumped out so I wouldn't get trapped underneath the boat. And the force of me jumping out actually pushed the boat back. So I was the only one in the water, and everyone else was just dry. So that's the closest I've got to flipping a canoe, I think. I may have flipped one before. I just don't remember.
I almost feel like I need to experience it again just to see if it was me or if that canoe was bad. I
think something was wrong with that canoe too, because canoes, as much as they suck, they don't suck that bad.
Well, I mean, I've heard the term tippy canoe, because I guess it's easy to tip over. But I mean, that
not
one, like,
that tippy.
You couldn't even look over. Like, there's no fishing in it for sure. I mean, you can't even look over the side.
Yeah, that's not normal.
Now, I will say I'm a very big guy. Nothing against. I don't think she listens to this. So it doesn't matter. But nothing against, because she was also a larger woman, and my buddy's small. I mean, he's little. Yeah. So, at least he was then. Nice way of calling him fat now. So, I mean, having 2 larger people and maybe a kayak or canoe that maybe has something wrong with it probably doesn't help.
Yeah.
Maybe if maybe it was me and him, or if I was as small as he was and it was two smaller guys, maybe it'd be no issue.
Right.
I don't know. Or maybe it's just too much weight for that canoe too. I mean, they have a weight thing for a reason, so maybe we were just over that. So I don't know. I have to try it again. Maybe me and you will videotape it just in case.
Yeah. It's good. Man, you think you would like this more and more as you drink it.
No.
I dislike it more and more every time I drink it.
So the last video where we actually drank these, I was talking to Jason. I kept continuing to sip from it. And at one point I really go, because I make a face every time because it's awful. And I think I for a moment I realized, I go, why do I keep drinking this? It's awful. So I don't know. It definitely doesn't get any better.
No.
It doesn't. I will say, I don't think it gets worse. I feel like it stays the same. It's awful.
It
all the way
seems like
around.
it's getting worse to me.
Oh, okay, maybe not.
I'm really thirsty right now.
Well, next time, stop and get you something that's
Yeah, I almost did, but then I was like, we got those back at home. I should have done it.
Yeah.
I need to just buy myself like 1,000 Cokes and just store them under my bed.
Hey, there you go.
Then I'll just have them forever.
Absolutely. So I'm going to bring this up since we talked about it beforehand, because I do want to mention it, just in case Theron watches this. So when you guys were talking about your top 10?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Best players. Now, I don't know enough to give a top 10, but I will say when I heard him say LeBron was his 9-1, because he named one guy and then it was 9-1 was all LeBron. Me personally, yes, LeBron has good stats. I will not argue that. He's a good basketball player. But it's your personal top 10, and he's not in my personal top 10, top 20, 100. If I can name even 5 off the top of my head right here, it's not his stats that make a player good or bad for me. It's how they compose themselves on the court. It's what they do outside of the game, everything. And he is not a leader. He gets mad and will walk off in the middle of a game, because he's upset with how it's going. It's awful. I hate his attitude, everything around it. And that's just my personal take on it. I wish I was here during that. I would love to have been here during that point, but awful.
During that
awful.
What?
That point.
Oh.
What?
It sounded like you said something else.
I don't know. My
that
mouth
rhymes
is a little
with
dry.
Corn, but
oh no. No, mouth is a little dry. Maybe you got stuck there.
So I need to correct my list because I did say Kawhi twice and I left Joel Embiid out completely.
I didn't even catch that.
So I make Kawhi 5 still and Joel Embiid 3, I think is what I had it at. But I'd put Nikola Jokic over Joel Embiid right now, but I don't remember where he was in the list. But I know I had Kawhi in there twice instead of Joel Embiid. So,
and for those of you who actually watch basketball, I don't watch it very much. Maybe I'm not a good person to give my opinion on LeBron when all I get is snippets from ESPN and TikTok. But even when I used to watch it more, I'd never liked him. If he could have been a little bit more of a leader on the field, or I keep wanting to say field, that's the problem. I say field and it's not, it's court. And that's where I'm probably getting a little tongue-tied. If he could have been a better... I watch football. That's the problem.
Right.
If he could have been a better leader, because he's supposed to be. He's at this point, he's the veteran. He's also supposed to be like the best scorer. People are supposed to be passing to him. He's supposed to be giving plays, and he's not. And then you see him walking back to the other end of the court, and they're already scoring and coming back. I mean, he didn't even make it to defend anybody if he's upset or it is not going his way.
Right.
And to me, that makes him lower. No matter how many championships he wins, no matter how good his stats are, he'll never be as good as Michael Jordan. And that's just my personal opinion. I hope other people say he's better, whatever. But because of that reason there, he will never be as good. Now, if he turns it around somewhere, before he retires and maybe he gives like a good solid effort to be a leader. Maybe my opinion and others will change, but I also think other people think the same thing when it comes to him. It's not necessarily his ability to score. Some people like to put championships involved, which I think that can be a little hit and miss as far as how good somebody is.
Yeah.
Because if you're the only, good
Robert
player on the
Horry
team,
would be one of the greatest.
I don't know
of
who
all
that
time.
is. I'm not even going to pretend.
Well, he's tied for the second most championships of any player.
Okay.
But he's like never an all-star. But he has a lot of championships.
I'll put it in football terms. Dan Marino, one of the best quarterback. I'd say probably in the top 10 area of quarterbacks of all time.
Okay.
In my opinion. Some people may have differ that, but he's really good. But if he had better players around him, I think that they would have went further and done more.
Right.
They did go to, I believe, one Super Bowl and they lost, so he doesn't have any wins. I believe. I don't think I got that wrong. But when you got only one good player,
yeah,
you're not gonna go anywhere.
Right.
You know, I mean, one person can't carry you through an entire season. They can make you better, but they're not gonna carry you.
Right.
So that's just kind of what I mean by that part. Like it's hard to judge somebody by championships,
right?
Because one guy could be really good, putting up way better stats, breaking records, but if they're the only good guy, they're not gonna have championships,
right?
So,
yeah.
But that's just my gripe about that part. I wish I could have been here for that. Just
yeah,
so I could give Theron a little grief about that, but
yeah.
Of course, also you were doing current. Oh golly, all over me. Awful. What happened? Oh.
I don't know. I just had to cough, and there was nothing I could do about it.
I usually pay extra for that. Gross. Hope you have COVID.
Oh.
Now we're gonna have a COVID warning on here because I said it.
Need to stop drinking, I guess.
Awful thing.
Yeah. Man, that was bad.
Like I was gonna say though, you guys were doing current basketball players.
Right. Yeah.
So I definitely couldn't. I don't know. Okay, I couldn't name you 10. So me and Theron would be on the same boat of that. Like I couldn't name 10.
Yeah. I understand. You got anything?
Yeah, sure. Give me a second here.
My name is Socrates.
What? Say Socrates. Oh, Socrates. Now I get it.
Have you ever been to Zuki?
I have.
Okay, so they usually, you can say no, but they usually put yum yum sauce in your rice.
Well, I don't get
Oh,
rice.
You haven't done like hibachi grill or whatever?
No.
Okay.
When we go, we do
Sushi.
sushi. Now, I bet they've had it on some sushi rolls before, so I probably have had it if they put it on there. I don't know.
There might be one or two that they do. They might.
So, I mean, maybe I have had it, but just didn't realize what it was. Last time I went there, I was going through a little bit of like a bulk phase.
Okay.
And so I'm like, I'm gonna get a lot. That was the goal. Like, I'm gonna eat a bunch of this, and also I like it. So that. What are you doing?
Is that? There's like a piece of hair or lint or something that was just floating by. I was trying to grab it.
Very weird. So we get there, and I order three separate rolls for myself.
It's a lot.
Yeah. And the waiter was really cool though. So I'm like, I'll get this one. I'll get this one. I'm like, I get this one. He's like, oh man, you're doing it up tonight. All right. It's like, I like that, And then I think Kayla got like one roll, and it was like she gets the California roll, which is like all veggies. So she got like this healthy veggie roll, right? And I get like, mine's usually like as much fish as I can get in one. So it's like as much shrimp, fish. There's one that's, I don't think Zuki has it, but I've been to a few that have it, and they all call it the same thing. It's the Godzilla roll. That's my favorite. Now that one has like about every type of fish and crab that they can have, and the stuff in this thing.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm like, that's the one I want.
Yeah. I'm the same. Yeah.
That is funny to talk about though, because I've never tried it till me and her got married, and I didn't try it till about almost a whole year of marriage, maybe even close to 2. But she's always, I like it. So we go, and then I wouldn't eat, or I'd find something else, because the idea of eating raw fish actually kind of just mentally turned my stomach up.
Yeah, I don't usually eat, like, even when I get sushi, I usually get cooked, just because the texture of it just, I can't do it anymore. I used to, but I can't anymore.
But then I realized she doesn't even get fish on hers. She gets the California roll, which is just a veggie roll. And I think maybe she's gotten some with crab. Maybe, I think. But if that's like it, I think, for the most part. And so we went somewhere in Nashville, and we saw like, oh, you like this stuff? We'll stop and, whatever. So she gets hers, like, I'm going to try one. So I tried the eel roll. So it had eel on it.
That's a
and
brave one.
Yeah, well, yeah, she goes, what? She goes, you're just going to dive? Like I said, yeah, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it right. I'm going to dive in, And I loved it. It was it was awesome. And so I get raw fish. I like it. And I didn't think I would. And if I think about it too much, I can still make myself sick, because I'm like, they could have parasites. Like, how long is this fish sat out? There's a lot of things that go through my mind. I try not to think about it, but if I think about it, I'll still get sick about it. I'm like, I'll pass. I'll quit. I got to stop eating it. The freshness, you can always tell.
Right.
Chicago had the best I've ever had. But
Yeah.
I think they're a little bit closer to probably where they can get it. So
yeah, dude, I love sushi. But
so do you eat cooked fish on yours? Though?
I do cooked fish. I just find that I enjoy it more if I'm just like completely settled. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we went to that new place where Crazy Buffet 2 used to be. It's called like Okasa or Okansa or something. Anyway, Isaac got raw squid there, and he loved it.
Really?
And he let all of us try it, and it made me and Dad and Eiley all almost like throw up. I cannot.
Now, was it a whole squid? Like it had the head? Or just the legs? Just
certain parts of it, whatever it was.
Well, how big were the pieces? Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you.
I mean, the piece he gave me was like
Did
that
he cut
big.
it, or did it come out like that?
I think he cut it,
Okay.
but I don't remember exactly how it came out. It, like, the flavor was good, and like when you first put it in your mouth, you're like, oh, it's good, and then as soon as you bite it, it like felt like a live fish was in your mouth. It was so weird, the sensation. I can't even, like, it literally felt alive still. Like, the way that I don't know how to explain it. I really have no idea how to explain it. It was nothing like any other raw thing I've ever eaten before, because I've eaten a lot of raw things. I've even eaten raw venison before, and
I haven't done that.
That was insane. And all me, Dad, and Eiley all had the same exact reaction to it. And Isaac was just chomping down. He loved it.
Huh.
Of course, Isaac's just kind of weird, but
yeah. I mean, I've had it cooked before. It's fine, but I've never had raw.
I have too. I've had
raw
squid cooked.
That's another thing. Like, just if you think about it too much,
yeah,
I would have to just dive in, like, with no thought process put into it.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was fine. I mean, I thought, I popped it right in, and I was like, and it just it was so weird. I still don't really know how to describe
did you swallow it,
but no,
you spit it out.
No, I kept chewing it for a little bit to try. Like, maybe that sensation was just weird.
Right.
And it never went away, and I just had to spit it out. Sorry for audio listeners. The mic was like all over the place.
I think I would almost like try to keep on chewing it and get through it just to experience the whole thing. Almost like a piece of steak that you can't chew up, so you just chew and chew because you can never figure out when to swallow. And I think I would just keep doing it until like like I'm gonna figure this thing out.
Couldn't do it. It's like
did it still have like one of those like little
shot.
little sucky things still on it? Like
No.
That'd been kind of funny. Like put it all over your face. I go to immediately like thinking like playing with my food. Like, what can I do with this? I've seen the videos where they're like actually eating them alive.
I have seen like octopus.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of the same thing, right? It's, no,
they're kind of similar. Squid are quite a bit different.
Okay,
but
they're
I guess they're the same species, not species.
Animal tree family.
Yeah, they're both in the animal kingdom.
There you go. They're both in the ocean. Nailed it. But watching them eat them alive too, just the octopus or whatever they're eating, and it's like the legs are coming out of the bowl. Like it's like, oh my gosh, like how do you do that?
I could not do
Awful.
that at all.
No, heck no.
No way.
I don't want to eat anything. I'll eat stuff raw, but I won't eat anything alive. If it's still moving, that would freak me out a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could get past it.
A little bit?
Well, I mean, like if I'm at a table and everybody's doing it.
Like, I've eaten a worm before. So, like, I guess I don't have much room to talk. But
That's weird. If you are not starving in the woods somewhere, it's weird.
It wasn't worth it.
Well, of course not.
I can tell you that.
Well, of course not. There's nothing alive, bug or worm-wise out there that's worth it unless you're just starving and you're lost somewhere.
Yeah. Well, there's no reason to eat, like, bugs alive either. Like, remember, were you around when Danny would catch, like, the locusts? And he would gut them, though. Yeah. And then they were great. But they were dead, and they were gutted, and they tasted great.
No. I'm still out. That's just weird to me. And maybe because I don't consider it food, I guess. I don't know.
It's weird. It's weird how much like meat bugs have on them. It's actually kind of surprising. Cicadas too. Cicadas are pretty good.
I'm just envisioning like
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you got to take all that out, and we cook them too. So like,
you even cook them.
Yeah, we roast them over the campfire.
It's wild.
You take the guts out and you roast it over the campfire and eat it.
It's wild. No,
we got to do it sometime.
No, I don't think you could get me enough to. I think I could do it.
Yeah,
I don't think
you
I could do
could.
it. No, I
you could
not.
do it.
If we're gonna videotape it, I'll do it just for content. But if we're just gonna go do it, no, I'm out.
Fair enough.
It'd be one of those things I couldn't think about. Like
right.
Like I wouldn't look. You'd gut it, cook it, whatever. Here you go. Just like, and I just throw it in. It'd be the only way I could do it. If I'm like looking at it and it looks still like a bug, I'm out. I'd have to come hungry probably. I haven't eaten for a week. I'm ready.
Right. That's how he did it to me too. The first time we did it, we were going camping somewhere, and for some reason, him and Dad and Eiley were coming later, and so we had been there forever. And I guess I hadn't gotten to eat forever, waiting for them to get there. We're like waiting for them to get there to eat or something.
What's forever?
Like 5 hours.
Okay.
Like, we got there at like 4 and they got there at 9.
Okay.
And he started catching locusts and cooking them over the campfire. And I ate it, and it was actually really good.
So you would not do good on a deserted island if you wrecked with other people.
Why?
Well, in 5 hours, you're eating bugs already? So I've had this conversation.
Sounds like I'm doing pretty good.
I mean, for surviving, sure. But it took you like 5 hours and you're going to have regular food in however long it takes them to get there, right? Like, you're waiting to eat for them to get there. So you have regular food. Or they're bringing it or whatever.
I'm also like 10.
Okay. Well, I'm getting to a point here.
Yeah.
So I've had this conversation with your brothers, or sorry, uncles. I keep wanting to do that. And some of my own friends and people at work. So how long do you think that you go on an island, not eat, say it's off, you just cannot figure out, or you're not lucky enough to get food, before you look at the person next to you and go, I could eat this person?
I don't think I'd ever do it.
Ever?
No.
What if they fall and break their leg and die? Now you don't even have to kill them. Nothing.
I don't think so.
I give you 24 hours.
There's no way.
24 hours, I'm looking at you like, yeah, you're going down. Like, Jason, you better catch a fish. It's getting ready to get real rough.
Yeah, I like you said, like, thinking about, there's no way. I would never be able to do it. No.
It would be easier if you die on your own first. It'd be harder to take your life, but I'm hoping we're catching food. But if you die of natural causes, for sure, I'm not letting you go to waste, especially if I'm starving. Now, if like for some reason we have a lot of food around and it's just very accessible, like maybe we land on a island that has fruit trees, there's bananas and stuff, maybe, I won't even ever resort to that.
But like, what's the point? Like, you just get to live a couple more days.
Have you seen Castaway? There's a chance. All right, there's a chance that someone's gonna find you. With all the technology nowadays in planes, it wrecks, they could maybe figure out, hey, there might be people on this island. Now, I will say it would be harder to do if there's a group of people, because then, like, if I kill somebody or like somebody dies and then I eat them, and I'm the only one who does that, and then we get saved like the next day, they'd be like, yeah, he ate a guy. I'm like, oh no.
What if you get like charged with murder?
That's true too. Obviously, that would be, but like,
and cannibalism. I wonder what the laws on cannibalism are.
On a deserted island somewhere, no laws.
Right, but you still be charged in America.
No, not if it's just me and you. Jason fell off a tree and died.
But if
I buried him. Where's Jason at? He died like a month ago. Is that barbecue sauce in your face? No.
You had barbecue sauce the whole time?
Yeah. What a jerk. That's almost like the Dumb and Dumber movie. Have you seen that?
I have not.
Okay.
I've seen little clips of it, but that's it.
So they end up going to like a colder climate, and they're on a moped, and it's like the Aspens, so it's snow and like mountain terrain, and they're freezing. It's like, oh, I'm cold, and like my hands are freezing. Like, oh, here, I got 2 pairs of gloves on. You can have a pair of mine. He's like, you got 2 pair of gloves the whole time? Like, yeah, we're going to Aspen. Duh. So it's like that. Like, you've had barbecue sauce this whole time?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's funny.
Hunger Games are this week.
You're bringing it up again?
Yep.
And you're doing it again?
Yep.
Okay. So make that very clear.
Yep.
Okay. So you said this week?
Mm-hmm. This weekend. It's happening.
So I looked at his post.
Whose?
Isaac's.
Oh, did you watch the trailer?
Not the trailer.
Oh,
no, I did. No, I would watch the trailer.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you're on the bridge, right?
Yeah, that's how it starts. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So I watched the video. I watched the trailer, and I seen his post about wanting people, like how many people they get. Like, well, there's an age limit.
Yeah.
So why are you doing this? Maybe it's a little jealousy. So I looked at it and I go, oh, you got to be. What was the cutoff?
Well, the cutoff is whatever Isaac's age is. So 24 right now.
Was that I think the cutoff he put on there was lower than that. He may have done more. But the one I seen, I'm almost certain it was lower.
Well, the cutoff is 24 this year. Yeah.
That's still baloney. I mean, I'm too big. I can't really move. I can throw an axe probably pretty far, though. Now I got to look it up because I feel like you could be right. But
yeah, it's definitely. I know that's what he sent out in the text, and I know that's always how the rules go.
Is that what he put on Facebook, though?
I don't know. Maybe he put something weird on Facebook for some reason. Just didn't want some random 23-year-old coming out, I guess. That's
possible. Let me see if I can find it. Sorry for the... Yeah, between 10 and 18 is what he put.
Huh. That's weird.
Right there.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah. So between ages 10 and 18, you were too old.
Yeah, we got multiple people in their 20s playing. You just didn't want a random 20-year-old playing, I guess.
Okay, I got you. I was gonna make like this giant sword, like ridiculously big,
Yeah, that's not legal.
and just rain it down on people.
Yeah, no, we have only certain weapons you can use.
I'm gonna be
of
like the
course.
mountain in the Game of Thrones, which I know you haven't seen that, but
No, I
if you haven't seen Dumb and Dumber, you definitely have not seen Game of Thrones, which is fine.
I haven't seen very many things at all.
I know.
Yeah. People are just like, have you seen this?
Fine.
No.
That's
Have
fine.
you seen this? No.
It is weird though that like you're posting on YouTube and TikTok, you got your own podcast, but yet as far as like things like that, you've almost no experience.
Yep. Yeah. Star Wars, never seen it.
And that's a
Harry
bunch of baloney.
Potter, never seen it.
You can miss that. That's fine.
Um,
It is a good show. I have seen it. Star Wars is, I feel like, is a must.
yep, never. I've seen 3/4 of the first one.
Do you have any desire to see Star Wars?
No.
Oh, never mind then.
Oh, actually, I have seen part of another one too, one of the newer ones, but I don't remember.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, that's fine.
that's it. But like anything that's like massive, like you have to see. I haven't seen it. But
Nothing massive. Nothing. Okay.
I'm trying to think of. Okay, I've never seen all of it of anything. Like I've seen.
What's with these halves
So-
and stuff? What's going on here?
So like the what is it? The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit.
Okay.
I've seen the third Hobbit.
You just jumped to the third one?
So listen, it was just
What's going on, guys? I don't understand what's happening.
we just went on a road trip with some friends and like we watched it in the car and that's like all they had.
Oh my gosh! So I when you first said that, I thought you were explaining the movie
Oh no.
from like their perspective. So I went on some road trip with some friends because that's pretty much Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. They're all going on a trip together with their friends.
I have watched. This isn't that classic, like not as big as those,
Okay.
but like The Office. Like I watched The
Yes.
Office. Like that's one of
Love
the
The
biggest TV shows
Yes,
ever, and I've watched all of The Office.
Office is
so.
great. I love
Except okay, I did skip a lot after Michael left,
it. That's fine.
as most
It
people do.
does get Now I have watched all of it, even the one after he left. Even was what a couple seasons when he wasn't there. It's okay still.
Right.
Not the same.
Yeah, and the storyline, like they do pretty good with the story during that time.
Absolutely.
Because they have something carry it, but but yeah,
I like
But
how they
just
brought
didn't-
in like bigger stars just for
Mhm.
like a little bit,
Mhm.
just like a little scene here or there. Like they're trying to
Right.
get the job. They bring in like Ray Romano and he's interviewing and then he like just messes up the whole interview. That's
Yeah.
hilarious how he does that. He starts eating a sandwich in the middle of the interview. It's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, see, I've seen those episodes.
Yeah.
I've seen.
I
It's great.
I love The Office.
Yeah,
Have you ever seen Friends?
I've watched some episodes of it.
That's
I'm
gonna be
not a
more
fan
like
of
a massive show. I mean, a little older.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. I didn't find it that funny.
Now I'm gonna say probably not. But have you seen Seinfeld?
Some episodes of it.
Okay. Because that's a little more.
mean-
They got some inappropriate stuff, so I didn't know if you've
Right.
seen that or not.
I've seen some of it, but I don't know.
My favorite show right now and has been for quite some time is Sunny in Philadelphia. I know you haven't seen it.
No idea.
It's inappropriate, so you probably won't. But I love it. Anybody out there's listening to this who hasn't seen it is okay with a little inappropriate humor. It is awesome. I absolutely love it. And I think they have had, man, I want to say like 15 seasons. And I just saw the other day that they signed another, I think 5 seasons.
Wow.
So, or
That's
maybe
a
3,
lot.
3 or 5 seasons, something like that. And they've got like 15 already.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is it like animated, or is it?
Nope. Nope. It's I say it's kind of like your common one, right? So you got 4 main characters. Is that right? Hold on.
Are you really a fan of the show?
4. So, I'm trying to figure out if D was a real character. They make fun of her all the time. Anyways,
Okay.
so it's basically a group of guys, 1 girl, and but it's kind of like your common one. It's just a comedy. It's out of like a bar in Philadelphia, and they're all weird people. So I also listen to their podcast where they talk about it, and what they're doing in the podcast is they'll watch the first episode and then they'll talk about it, like what their thoughts were through it. So they talk about how they lean into these awful characters because they're like awful people, like just
I see.
but they try to lean into it to where it's obvious that they're trying to be awful. But it's fantastic. It's got the only big character, well, I should say, but when they first started, the first big character was Danny DeVito.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. He started the second season. He came in. Before that, it was just the guys, the 3 guys and the girl.
Okay.
So they wanted to bring in a big star. They told them that they could continue to make episodes. They would sign them for a second season, but they wanted a big star to come in. And so I guess they had some friends that knew Danny DeVito. They got him to come in. And, just made the show that much better with him. It's funny to watch how clean he was in the beginning, because he was like a businessman who's made millions of dollars. Then now he like lives in an apartment with another guy, wears like stained up wife beaters, just lives in like poverty. It's just great.
Cool. Yeah. So the only shows I've watched: The Office, Psych, as you know, Monk.
Yeah. Because your mom likes those, right? That's
yeah. I watch them with mom most of the time. Yeah, so it's fun to watch them with people. Recently we just watched Longmire. Have you ever heard of that?
I've heard of it. I have not seen it. Didn't really look interesting, so I've never seen it.
I can't say as it was a great experience. And the finale was so bad. Like, it was so bad.
So I say a lot of shows and movies have done that.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones ended awful.
Right, I heard that.
Even I had some complaints about that, and usually I don't really judge a show very often. I did not like the end of the Ring movie with the hobbits.
Oh yeah.
I didn't like how that ended. It had like 4 different endings. Like it went black like it was over, and then they reopened into something else. They did it like 3 or 4 different times. And it's a pretty cool story. I do like the books. I do not read them. I listen to them on audio.
Right.
So,
yeah.
But I do like the books. The books are pretty cool. But there's a lot more in the books. It's a longer story, obviously.
Right. Yeah, what was I? Oh, right. So this finale of Longmire.
Yeah, okay.
They did a pretty good job of like building up all this tension. And then it never like reached a critical point. So like the main bad guy or whatever, it's so stupid.
So is it just build up and then just falls off a cliff? Like it never goes anywhere?
So he tries to run over the main character with a car. Wow, so intense. And like his deputy saves him from getting hit by a car, which like he could have easily just stepped out of the way.
Okay.
Super stupid. So they wreck, and they think he dies, and then he just like comes back to life, and he stabs him. But it was just like he just like had this little pocket knife and stabbed him, and he falls on the ground and shoots him, and like that's it. Like that, all of that build up for that. He like didn't even get.
Did he die from that, or does it not even show that?
The bad guy dies, yeah.
The good guy. Like, he gets stabbed. Did he die?
He just gets stabbed. He just gets a little stab.
Right? But he sees him fall on the ground, he shoots him, and then it just ends?
No,
Oh.
they do all the,
Gotcha.
all that stuff. But, like, all that build up for that little, like,
Right.
it wasn't even that high
You
risk.
should have let him hit him with the car.
Yeah. Like, he should have almost died, or they should have, like, had him something
Right.
high stakes at all. Anything high stakes. It was just nothing. It was really stupid. And also, it was also a really weird end that I don't even want to talk about.
A lot of movies and shows do that. I think they almost run out of ideas, and they're like, it's almost like me doing homework, right? So I'm like, I start off good, like I'm in the zone, and then
Right.
I get tired of doing it, and I'm just like, whatever. I just, C. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's almost like they get tired of it, and they're just like, we're gonna end this,
Yeah.
and they do it in such a horrible way.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's
Like, all the good story writers start with an end.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you has to, like, unravel at the end. It can't
Right.
just...
Yeah, like it just, yeah,
Be
it's awful.
done
And then
like
that
that,
happens
yeah.
a lot with a lot of shows. There's hardly any shows I've seen like that, with like suspense that
Yeah.
that builds up to something and ends good.
Right.
It's very rare.
Yeah.
It always seems very rushed at the end, or they
Yeah.
just didn't know how to close the story out, and they just almost guess.
Yeah.
It's like, let's put a few endings in this hat, and whatever I pull out, stab with a pocket knife. Got it. All right, that's how we're gonna end it.
Yeah. Right.
I don't know who put this in, but this is what we're gonna do. You know?
Yeah.
So I know you don't have a lot of experience with movies and shows, but what do you think about a movie where the bad guy wins? Does that interest you at all?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, me too. I'm like super like, because it's different. It's not necessarily that, I guess not necessarily that I want the bad guy to win, but it's like it always seems like they could win. So do you watch Batman at all then?
No.
No? Oh my goodness.
Never seen anything Batman ever. Never seen anything Superman ever.
No wonder you don't have any friends.
Never seen any Iron Mans.
Awful, man. But
I've seen a lot of Marvel, but never the Iron Man.
there's a, trying to think of the actor's name. I'm gonna have a hard time thinking of it. But they did the Dark Knight series.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about
that. They
that.
did the Joker one, with
Right, a lot of people love the
Heath
Joker.
Ledger. Oh, I remembered. Wow, I pulled that one out. I was like, you see the smoke coming out of my head trying to think of his name? I mean, the best Joker ever. I mean, it was and the problem is him dying after that.
Oh, yeah.
So you don't get any more of his acting. And he's always been a good actor. But that Joker scene, he went so deep into that character and figuring out how a crazy person acts. And I watched some like stuff on it where he did some stuff on his own. Like, it wasn't in the script to do this, but he'd done it anyways. I mean, fantastic. I don't think we'll ever see anybody beat that. I could be wrong, obviously. I mean, who knows what'll come up, but that's going to be tough to beat.
Yeah. So the only reason I think of this is because of improv. But have you ever did you watch Parks and Rec at all?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Ron.
Yeah, see, I watched all of Parks and Rec, too. I love...
that guy's like my spirit animal, for sure. I love it when he calls him like a different name. Like, 'cause he doesn't want to get too close.
Yeah.
Or when he breaks the copier or coffee maker, I can't remember now. He broke something, but then he called a meeting, like, who broke this? And they start fighting amongst each other, and he's like, I broke it. It was a coffee, because he goes, I burnt my hand, I got mad, and I smashed it. He goes, but they were getting a little too chummy out there. So he is fantastic. Or where he's gonna, what's he gonna kill? Was it a pig? He was gonna kill something. I think it was a pig.
Yeah.
And he's
it's
like,
a pig.
Ron, you can't do this. That's right. I got my permit. I got my papers. And I think all it said was I can do this or something like that. Something wrong. Like, I'm messing it up, but like all this says is I could do what I want. Like, that's right. His scenes are probably the best.
Yeah.
I mean, they got they got other good scenes with the Andy Dwyer.
Yeah.
He's great too.
So one of my favorite scenes in all of that was improv by Chris Pratt, where Leslie's super sick, and she comes into the office, and he's supposed to be typing on the computer, and they said that he improv this. The director was like, he just made this up and is better than any joke I've ever written. And he goes, Leslie, it says here that you may have network connectivity issues. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was looking up her symptoms or whatever, and it says here you might have network God, I can't even speak. Yeah. Network connectivity issues.
That's great. Oh, yeah, that show's got some good stuff, too.
Yeah, that's
for
great.
sure.
Have you ever watched The Middle?
The Middle?
I watched all of The Middle as well.
Nope.
It's another show based in Indiana. I don't know why so many shows are based in Indiana, but
I don't know.
It's Patricia Heaton, and
no, this is one you got me beat on. I haven't seen it.
It is the most relatable show ever to me because it's literally my family and in Indiana, and but it's of course extreme,
right?
But man, it has like the very first season is trash in my opinion.
Oh no!
And then after that, it is some of the best television I've ever watched.
I have to check it out.
Yeah, you should. They have it at the library. That's how we got it, but you probably
I could stream it somewhere.
Probably. You can probably stream it somewhere.
I don't live out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. If I were you, I'm just... It's really hard to skip a first season of a show.
Right.
But the first season is just not good.
All right. I could probably sit to the first season. Maybe. We'll see. It depends how bad the first season is.
It's pretty bad. Like, it's just super
How did it get signed
cringy.
for a second season then if the first season was that bad?
I guess people liked it.
I don't know.
But it's just super...
How many seasons did it make?
It's like stereotypically cringy in the first season. I think 9.
9 seasons?
Yeah.
So it really took off then.
Yeah, it did well.
Because there's some that like do
Patricia
like 3.
Heaton just got done with Seinfeld. Or wait, not Seinfeld. What's she on?
I don't know who she is. You said her name, I shook my head. I don't know who it is. Patricia.
I think it is Seinfeld. What's the other show like Seinfeld?
Friends?
No, sorry, I keep looking for my phone.
That's all right.
I think it's Seinfeld. Or what's the other Jerry Seinfeld show? Yeah, Everybody Loves Raymond. That's
that is not the same guy.
It's not the same guy at all. I'm sorry. I don't know why I confuse them, but they're completely different.
So his wife in that?
Yes,
okay.
It's that lady. So after that show, she went and did this show.
Okay. I can't give you too much crap for getting the wrong guy. You don't watch a lot of TV. So.
No, I don't at all. I don't know what, but I mix Seinfeld and Everybody Loves Raymond just because they're like the same era of TV for me. Right? Isn't that not the same timeline? No?
I don't think so.
Are you sure?
Like, I definitely remember seeing Seinfeld before Everybody Loves Raymond.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if maybe somewhere they maybe
I feel like they
in.
overlapped.
They may have overlapped at some point.
I'm just too young.
I'm almost certain Seinfeld was first.
That's probably true.
But they may have overlapped. Maybe. It's kind of hard to remember now, but I'm almost certain Seinfeld for sure was before.
Yeah.
No matter.
Anyway, sorry for my
trippy
brain.
I like Everybody Loves Raymond. Now, you may have seen this. I don't know because it's not inappropriate. I'm trying to think what that. Oh man, now I'm gonna remember what this movie's called, but it's hilarious. Young Frankenstein. You haven't seen it. You have to
Never
watch that.
Never even heard of it.
What? No.
Never even heard anyone say that.
That's fine. What?
Never.
We're going to take a survey. If you've seen that movie or heard of it, let's say something in the comments right now. But hilarious. Now, it's old school comedy.
Okay.
The reason why it made me think of it is because the dad in Everybody Loves Raymond is actually the monster.
Okay.
That he creates. But it's a comedy. So I think Gene Wilder is the main guy in this. So he's the guy that did Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the original one.
Okay.
Have you seen that?
Nope.
This is rough. This is rough, man. I can't give anything else that you would have seen with him in it. I'm almost positive at this point, because that's like the go-to for sure to figure out who people are. And so, but anyways, it's hilarious. You need to see it. In fact, we will rent it, and so if I do the bug thing, you're gonna watch that movie with me.
Okay.
Because it's funny. So I'm not gonna give any parts to it, just because I want you to see it fresh. But it's hilarious. I watched it, I don't know how many times when I was younger. It was great.
Wow. Interesting.
Black and
Never
white.
heard of it.
It's black and white.
Oh, wow. Wow.
But
okay.
I think, I could be wrong, but I think they did that just for effect, because it was supposed to.
Okay.
I don't actually think that it was black and white
time.
Right.
That doesn't sound like it.
No.
Interesting.
But it could be, but I don't think so. I don't want to be wrong, but I'm not gonna look it up. So we'll figure it out when we get it. But we'll watch that together.
Sounds good.
It'll be good, and then we'll come back. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
So you will actually have a movie you can talk about with me.
Yeah. The movies that I've seen are just totally random, but never.
It is, because I know you've seen Nacho Libre.
Oh yeah.
Which is kind of like a random pick.
Love Nacho Libre.
And that's not even, at least in my opinion, that's not even his best movie.
Nacho Libre.
But I know you haven't seen
Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah, and those are, I don't know, I think those are kind of on the line of
they're
the same types.
genre.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Three Amigos. Have you seen that?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. That's the same genre, too.
Yeah. Well, different era.
Right, but
different
it's the
guys,
same genre.
different kind of
same
comedy.
Kind of humor, right. I think.
I'll give it to you, probably, for the most part. It's definitely, I feel like it's different. So I feel like Napoleon Dynamite's a little more dry humor.
Yeah, it is.
And I will admit, the first time I watched it, I did not like it. And the second time I watched it, it was funny. The third time I watched it was hilarious. I don't know why.
I was exactly the same way.
I don't understand it.
That's how everyone says that movie is. I don't know why that is.
Now, I will say Nacho Libre was funny
the first time, yeah.
So, I don't know.
So is Three Amigos.
Three Amigos. But I will say, if I watched Three Amigos right now, I probably wouldn't laugh.
Yeah.
It's such old school comedy. And
right.
I listen to stand-up comedy constantly. I listen to comedy podcasts constantly. So the little bit of older stuff that I've seen a lot when I was younger isn't necessarily funny to me anymore.
Right. It's almost like I love it, but it doesn't like make me laugh super hard.
Right.
But like when the animals just start singing and stuff, like, stuff like that, just
it has a nostalgia for me.
Right.
I think because I watched it when I was pretty young, so it's kind of more of a nostalgic show now for me more than a funny show.
Right. Yeah.
But I was one of those movies where I've probably watched it hundreds of times. So so that's, I don't know, wore the funny out of it.
Right. Yeah. Because comedy is unexpected.
Right. So now
usually,
I know
you know the punchlines.
Yeah.
Exactly. Feels like a good place to end
it.
it.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yep. We'll make plans to do our video shoot.
Yes, we're going to have a new intro is coming.
Yes.
Well, you don't really have an intro yet, so an intro is coming.
Intro is coming, yes.
Which will only be, now, we may still do the song for the listener part, because most podcasts that have a song still will play the song. But but the YouTube viewers will actually get to see the video.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be some good stuff.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, pretty excited about it. I think it'll be funny.
Me too.
I think it'll be good.
Yep. All right. Well, I'm kind of giving up on the outro. I don't like it that much.
I wanted to talk about that, but I wasn't gonna do it while we're doing this. But you brought it up.
Oh no! I gotta unlock my laptop.
There's so many wires. Like one bad move, it's all over.
Yeah.